I wasn't here on the motion.
All right. Just an excuse. But Bobby asked, and rightly so, could you please prove the continuation of people here? You keep talking, actually we didn't talk that much about the Nabateans, but I did mention that this is originally Nabatean, and then there's a Byzantine city. And Bobby, rightfully so, asked, do me a favor, link the two. How do we know that there was no replacement of ethnic groups? How do we know that these aren't just Romans or someone else that came here, drove the nomads away, and built a city, right? That was your question. No,
Let's go with you, please.
Good, thank you. So I need something to link those two ethnic groups. Because we saw this in Ovdat, and we saw this in Mamshit. We saw the transition that the Nabatean people slowly go through. Remember the loss of language, and the loss of names, and the adoption of different deities, and eventually the adoption of Christianity, and the loss of unique profession. All of these things we talked about in Ovdat and Mamshit. We don't really see them here because, to be honest, we're walking through a Byzantine period city. That's it. I told you that the original buildings here were from the Nabatean period, but I didn't show them to you. The one thing that I can show you that links those periods together in terms of archaeology is not only here, but this is a good example, are the column...
Capitals.
The capitals, thank you. The trapeze X-shaped capitals that you see on the columns. And we pointed them out
right
at the
outside.
base and on the outside of this opening. The trapezoid X shape or X pattern that you see on these are distinctly Nabatean. And they appear in Nabatean structures from the Nabatean period, 1st century BCE. And we see that in Byzantine period from the late 6th century even, into the, or even 7th century, into the Muslim period. Buildings that are built in this area all have that architectural feature. So those capitals, you usually won't find them anywhere else. They belong to this area, and the presence of those capitals is an indication, it's not evidence, but it's an indication of a continuation of an architectural tradition.